Well, here I am, a little better than I was in shape the other day, or what should I say, yesterday night. I got a lot of pain and I was somewhat deranged. But now I'm back on an even keel. So I'm going to announce the Post's latest steals. That doesn't make sense at all. GOP's amnesty folly. Now, this is to say that the GOP, which is the Republican Party, by the anyway, who doesn't know alphabets, is going wrong because they're out entertaining amnesty for all these illegals. Excuse the language. I can just call them illegals. What am I supposed to call them? Undocumented? I don't have documents. I barely have documents, but I have enough documents to know that I'm American. Anyway. What's going on here is the GOP in Reagan's era, one of our more Republican, whatchamacallit, conservatives, that did this where he gave a whole bunch of illegals legal status all at once. This is interesting. This may not work. You can't do that because we're a different kind of country. We're not related by blood. We're related by a philosophy, a loving of your country. You can't let anybody willy-nilly into your country, especially when they may be not so nice and maybe wanting to destroy your country from within because they don't agree with the basic premises of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, freedom of speech, and freedom to have a gun. You say, why are you letting people have guns? That's because the government can get out of control. Sometimes they think it's for your own good. Sometimes it's mostly for their own good. Anyway, Don's bullseye. He's winning the war in the Middle East. Now, anybody who wants to refute that is a little wackadoo. I'm telling you, you're wackadoo. Because how are you going to have a suicidal cult that runs around have atomic bombs? They're not afraid of going out the stairs. They're to meet their gods. No, or their God, they're Icon appears mails to man, the invisible man of the Muslim religion. But let me tell you, they have a different concept. They're not afraid to die. I mean, obviously, because we've killed about three or four layers of them, and they're still feisty. You give them an atomic bomb, they're gonna want to go to Allah on you and faster. It's no good because they're not moderate. You should be a little doubt in your mind about going to the hereafter. When I am totally convinced that there's a hereafter, I'm like, go shoot, go ahead. You eating my pain. Then it's what in the nice talk. They have talk about people having more money than they need. They're giving their jewelry to doggies, like $1 million necklaces for the doggies. You go, what the hell? The doggy doesn't even appreciate it. He doesn't probably even want to wear a necklace. That's for your own status, lady. And I know it's a guy who's doing it, a homosexual man. They're saying, look at me, I can afford to give my dog a lot of ice. I don't mean the kind that picks up illegals. I mean, he's willing to do this. This is crazy. But there's a lot of people like that in LA. LA needs to face reality. Yeah, the Democratic Party, you can't have a one-party state. They go nuts, these politicians. They get power, man. They think they were going to, they'll do anything to stay in power. And they don't do their job. Now, let me tell you something. I believe the Republicans are better at running things. I just do. Because the catastrophes that happen under the Democratic administration are really catastrophes. Yes, dim view of inside Hollywood. This is Jack Nicholson's daughter. She should know. She's going, look, all these people care about status. Status this, status that. How can they be out of contact with the regular person? Regular person gets $1 million to be happy, and then they could pursue some of other things, moderation. There's no moderation to be scaring about, you know, status. Oh, I'm a winner today, but I didn't win all the Academy Awards. And those things are rigged. This whole thing where, you get to be But Zimbabwean guy who's in Scandinavia in 12-3, they didn't have them there. So you can't cast that way. You're nutty, crazy bastards. The Curse of the Mandingo Bingo. This guy is a hot stuff. Our illustrious Marxist Muslim mayor, who's never had a poor person in his life, is cursing our football teams or baseball. I'm not familiar with these things. He was a baseball team. And Mr. Med hugged them. And since then, it's been the curse of Bambino. We won 10 in a row. What are the odds you're losing that? Well, what are the odds of this guy losing everything? He's trying to make free buses. You know the riffraff that'll go on a bus at that point. And crazy people. And you say, well, Mr. Nostrovini, you're not exactly all stable. I'm more stable than these guys who go on the buses and to assault people. You're on the trains and you step on the foot by mistake. The place is too goddamn crowded and you get a machete up yourself. They have guys running around with machetes for self-protection. The only reason if you have a machete is either you're fighting a guerrilla war or you're going and cutting some sugar cane down in Cuba. Now, unless you're in Cuba and you're cutting the sugar lane or you're way on your way there, it don't make no sense. Now they're trying to voodoo man trying to take the curse off. He hasn't succeeded. It's like the curse of the Bambino when this is in the 1920s. They gave up the Bambino. And the team that gave it up, I don't know the team because I don't know football or basketball that well. They were cursed for, I think it was a baseball team, for 30 years or so. The gods don't like that. They gave you a good guy and you give him up. Yeah, I believe in the gods. I don't believe in this one guy in charge of everything. If he's not, he's very stressed out and distracted. He can't, you know, cure the cancers in an individual and run the universe at the same time. And what are you doing with karma? Karma says, no, this karmic. This will make them grow as human beings to deal with other people's suffering. Let me tell you something, Mr. Karma. I'm going to block you here. And I don't care what the cost is. I'm going to cure this person. Well, oh, yeah, you have me running around left and right trying to cure people. I am a Nostrovini. I'm a psychic, somewhat psychic, and definitely I aspire to be a faith healer. Although my track record is very small, but it is spectacular in its smallness and its micromanagement there. Earth is the red light. Now, this is something I didn't realize. The Earth is turning red. The people turn white and with red hair genetically. I thought redheads would disappear off the face of the earth because I thought they would be bred away. People would get darker, not lighter, and they wouldn't have red hair. If they have red hair, they're Vikings. But then I read in YouTube, I saw it, that when the whole world was going through the Black Plague, and killing all of Europe, and killing people by the millions, the Vikings who were running around doing nasty things didn't catch it. They were on boats a lot of times. Why is that? I don't know. I didn't watch the whole episode. But anyway, people are going to be redheads. Maybe I don't have any kids, so that's not the option. And yes, I do have kids, and then I'll have a redheaded kid down the pike. Yeah, nice place. Yeah, no, New York is getting very noisy. It's not a family-oriented place. You can enjoy a person who just works for a living. You know, all these party animals, and these party animals are from places unknown, probably subsidized by their parents. But they're on, some sort of drug to keep them up. Yeah, it's true. Can't be bipolar and go like me. You can't sleep at times. Cool, the cop was set free. At least he's not in jail. The cop saved his other cops by hitting this drug pusher with a cooler. Let me tell you something. He's a cool cop, and I mean cool like in the hipster way. That guy was a drug pusher. He was poisoning the neighborhood. He was getting away on a scooter. So the cops hit him with something very, multitasking, and that's him. Yeah. Don Pope should condemn the rant. Now, this is true. You know what the Pope did? He complained. He He condemned the U.S. and Israel as opposed to complaining about Iran. They get a full pass. They kill women in the street because they're not wearing veils. They murder people. They kill us a dictatorship. See, that's where you're wrong. But war, it's just not economic either. It's also done because people don't want to live under tyranny, totalitarian tyranny. And the only totalitarian tyrannies that are really in business right now are lefties. They try to come to America, and they succeeded to an extent when they're persecuting all those poor Christians, calling them Nazis and extremist groups. It's a plot. Don't rush me into the war. That's what, the war's only been going on for a month. We got the Iranians just where we want them. And they know it. They're going to fall apart. And they're going to, gay party, gay LGBTQ guys versus that. What is this? William. William Forney. Oh my God. Call me just when I don't need to be called. But this, I'm not going to answer. It's probably trying to get my identity, as such as it is. Let's say, don't rush me to end war. Yeah, he's gonna, this war's gonna not last 6 months, if that. And the LGBTQ community wants to set up a little thing on the Red Sea, the Dead Sea, or one of those seas in the Middle East. You can't be doing that. You're agitating the gods, or at least the god of Wrath. He was a little conservative, and when I conservative, I mean reactionary. It's a house of ill repute. You can't have sex dens on the holy places. You're going to get in trouble. Well, you can't have Congress. Obviously, it's a sex den there. They're doing it with all the aides, and they're doing it with each other. And it's a house of cards. It's going to fall. And then they tell us to act normal and moral. It's not good. Don't to terms lead to waste ideas. They want to give. Let me tell you something about Democrats. The idea, the concept is good. The execution is terrible with the left, and also it's impossible. It's like me wanting an anti-gravity machine, and I don't know how to put it together, so you have to put me in a slingshot and hoist me up in the air. Yeah, I die. I break a hip and I fall. Wow. Just when I, as an Italian American, was thinking, I Italian American, well, 1/5 Italian, let's be honest here. My mom was Irish and my father was Italian. She had red hair and olive skin, very nice. We'll go through my whole lineage. Let's see. Gotti did downtime for something like not fentanyl, the COVID stuff. And he looked dressed and he wanted to get out of jail because his mom had cancer. He wanted to give her a kidney and he thought he could do it. And he was well dressed. And I was, in a sick way, I was like, us Italians, we still got it. We're doing terrible things, but at least, we're not out of business. Agents of ICE stopped an MSC-13 goon who was killing people. But they like the goons, the Democratic Party. Yeah, we got some pieces of work coming in this country. Yeah, Halloween on hollering, anyway, you got a bunch of Africans wanted the headdresses, or at least their supporters, doing whip-de wheels in neighborhoods, a nice neighborhood, keeping a very dangerous situation going on. Radicals back, no more 24. Radicals are, but some people want to work 24 hours with, slips, two shifts. If they can do it, they can do it. If they don't want to do it, they don't want to do it. I don't know. I'm not too big mister let the market decide. I think it's better than the communists deciding because the market has little abundance, the good. And if you go against it entirely, You don't let the engine do its best for itself, and have it keep it to those engines that are less than good at keeping up to themselves. Like people who can't control themselves, or taking hard drugs, or just screw ups and wackadoos, being competing with people who have their cocky doo doo together. That's it. That's the whole problem. You have your problem, you have your people who are good, and then you have the people who are screwed up and they're feeding off the people who are good. You can't do that. You can only do it to a certain extent. You bumps. For everybody, what's this? For everybody, there could be a few things here. Yeah. Now you for everybody, U.S. Cuba total talks. We're holding on the gasoline. We're blockading the communists in Cuba. We got them on the run. No, we're not totally responsible. It's like, oh, we're pushing them over the edge, all this stuff. Look, we may give them a little shove. Well, New York City shove, like we're a crazy person shoving somebody on the railroad tracks. But they were willing to go. They was going further and further downhill. And the Cuban people want to overthrow these guys. They have demonstrations in the streets. And let me tell you something. It's very dangerous to be rebelling against the government in Cuba. Illegal use of hands sure serves them. You know, I have mixed emotions about this. There's an older guy, and I'm an older guy. He's holding hands with a young woman and having maybe a romantics or behind the wife's back. Well, no longer behind the wife's back because, um, you know, but they may have the wife and the guy may have an agreement. Hey, once in a while, I want to do with the young stuff, and and then we hold hands, and then after a while, I don't know. I'm just afraid of the friend zone. I don't want that to happen again. I want to be an old wise man who these young girls get wisdom from, and I don't get no, no, no. No. You know what I mean by no, no, no. Yeah, we're going back. Voodoo strike out. Maybe I should do a video. Yeah, this white magic thing is not working out for me. I ain't benefiting. This baby's rattled. That's so sweet. Yeah, they got a baby. They keep trying the baby. Here we go. I'm gonna put this down. I got my back itch. I'm very immature, man. These things it keeps me up. Yeah, whatever. All right, here we go. The loveliness of Paris seems somehow sadly gay.